for joining Maryann the Professor. I am so delighted to be chatting with James Corbett here at the World Council Health meeting. James, thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you for talking to me.
So we were just chatting about who can we trust. Right now, a big part of the conversation amongst those of us in our camp fighting for humanity is discernment, exercising discernment, and looking at people and trying to size up whether or not we trust them.
Yeah.
What is your response to that? Who do you trust?
Good question. My response is I do not trust anyone. I do not ask anyone to trust me. I trust information that I have been able to triangulate and verify from different ways. So if someone imparts some information to me that I think is interesting or useful, great. And then I go and I make sure that I can I verify that? Where do they get that? How do they know that? Sometimes you can't verify, you can't get a signed, sealed, delivered document on something, but you can have a sense, okay, that lines up with this, that lines up with that. So that information goes into my brain, I've slotted it in, it's part of my worldview now. It might get taken out later when I learn something else. But in that system, there's no point at which I'm like, I trust anything this person says, and anything they say I believe. No. Also, even people who are not trustworthy will often say things that are true and verifiable, and sometimes things I didn't even know. So I can learn new verifiable information, even from people I may not trust. At the end of the day, it isn't about trust. It's about what you can verify.
Very interesting. So you're Canadian, I'm Canadian. Tell me, what do you see coming down the pipe in Canada?
Yeah.
I know that's a loaded question. We've got Bill C-11, we've got the Bill S-20 or 233, which is the Universal Basic Income.
Oh, really?
In the second reading in the Senate.
I did not know about that.
Oh, okay. That's been undercover, but it's I validated that one last week.
Yeah.
But what do you foresee for Canada?
Not good things, the way things are heading, right? I certainly don't see any political savior or change on that landscape. There are signs that things are getting better in certain places because, Daniel Smith and whatever pushing back on the federal government, yay. But I don't trust politicians. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust politicians to save or solve any of these things. So I think things are going to continue getting worse in Canada until the point as the general populace, the people, start pushing back against it. We saw, of course, the Freedom Convoy. That was a sign. That was a spark. But if that is not continued, if that starts and ends with the truckers in 2022, then we lose. It has to be something that continues, that gets pushed, and is not just about truckers. It's not just about converging in Ottawa. It's about everything else that's going on. That is the point at which we start to pull out of this. So until that point, things keep getting worse. Censorship, various oppression on various sorts, hate speech, online misinformation, censors, what have you, will start to remove voices like mine, like yours, presumably anyone else in independent media, so that people believe what the CBC tells them about the freedom truckers or whatever, those evil terrorists. So that is where the battle is taking place. It's a battle for your mind. You have to free yourself in terms of the information you're taking in, how you're getting it. That's a big, tall order, isn't it?
And at what point do you think Canadians, who are very nice, very obedient, at what point do you suspect they will say enough, no more, no?
Yeah.
How bad do you think? How low do we have to go?
Well, we already saw, as I say, with the Freedom Convoy, the line in the sand for certain people. And those people can now be the light for other people. And I think as the lies start to add up, and as people start to notice the observable reality around us of, hey, a lot of people dying suddenly, all of this craziness, I think more and more people are at least interested in hearing the other side of it. And when they start to get called racist, misogynist, whatever, for just asking questions about this, and it affects them, that's when they start to realize, those people who have been denigrated, maybe they were saying something that was true. So it's a chain reaction. Unfortunately, it's a race against time. because I think given the flow of technology and what's coming down in terms of transhumanism and all of that, we don't have generations to solve this. We have years, if even. So
absolutely. Well, it's interesting that you should comment on the vaccine injured. I think that is our portal into the psyche of Canadians because you get gaslit. As soon as you're vaccine injured in Canada, sure, we've got this, the vaccine injury support plan, but they're not paying out anyway. They're not acknowledging it. So I would agree with you. It's the vaccine injured that will become our main force.
Absolutely. That's why I'm excited by things like the National Citizens Inquiry, giving people like that a voice.
Yes.
And other people seeing that will be, I think, the light.
Yes. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for your tremendous work.
You're
James
welcome.
Corbett, lovely to meet you.